In response to Hurricane Helene, misinformation continues to spiral on social media and elsewhere, and it's not helping anything. One of the big things being spread is about the money being offered to victims through FEMA. Now take a look. Here's a look at what some are believing. Some post online and some political leaders have been falsely claiming that the federal government is only giving $750 to people who lost their homes. So let's clear this up. $750 is just the immediate upfront aid survivors can get. It's to cover basic pressing needs like food, water, and emergency supplies. FEMA explains survivors are also eligible to apply for additional forms of assistance. It can be worth thousands of dollars, like for temporary housing or home repairs. There's also been false claims this weekend that there have been no federal helicopters or rescue efforts. We want to clear that up now. On Friday, we told you the North Carolina National Guard activated more than 6,500 guardsmen, not to mention those coming from other states. And Fort Liberty in Fayetteville announced more than 1,000 troops were deploying to help deliver critical aid. And President Biden announced he was sending another 1,000 active duty soldiers to join them. And today, Governor Roy Cooper announced 500 more troops were being deployed. These efforts include aircraft and helicopters from the Air Force, plus Army soldiers and vehicles. So there have been numerous government helicopters, plus other aircraft helping out, not to mention all the private aircraft. And the North Carolina National Guard announced Thursday that its own air assets had completed 146 flight missions, resulting in the rescue of 538 people and 150 pets. And on Saturday, the North Carolina Department of Public Safety released a new report. It shows a total of 53 search and rescue teams from North Carolina and beyond have been at work. They consisted of more than 1,600 personnel who conducted search and rescue operations. Search and rescue teams interacted with more than 5,400 people, including assist, evacuations, and rescues. This afternoon, I spoke with Pentagon Press Secretary Major Patrick Ryder to learn more about what the Department of Defense is doing in coordination with FEMA to help the victims of Hurricane Helene in North Carolina and the importance of separating fact from fiction.
If there is misinformation or disinformation out there, of course, we want to dispel that as quickly as possible. And really, this comes down to the health and the safety of people that have been impacted by this hurricane and ensuring that they're able to make decisions based on accurate information, whether that be how to get food and water, where they need to avoid, due to things like downed power lines or debris. I would say, again, to pay close attention to the information coming from state, local leaders, as well as FEMA. And I also want to emphasize that, again, as fellow Americans, our DoD troops are on the ground in North Carolina. We want to be there to help, and we're going to continue to do that.
Can you break down how is DoD increasing your support?
And first of all, we've got about 1,500 active duty soldiers who have been deployed from Fort Liberty and Fort Campbell to help on the ground in the effort there. And the majority of those soldiers are already in North Carolina on the ground helping, helping to distribute food, water, helping with route clearance, helping to transport important commodities to where they're needed most. You also have our amazing National Guard. You've got over 6,100 National Guardsmen from 18 different states supporting Hurricane Helene relief efforts. And then you also have the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. They've established 12 emergency operations centers, 3 of which are in North Carolina alone, to look at things like water and wastewater management, to look at inspecting bridges to make sure that they're, continue to be safe to use. And so all of these come together to support the broader FEMA and federal, state, and local effort. And so, these are our fellow Americans. We want to be there to help, and we're going to continue to do that.
Any lessons learned from this that you can take and say, hey, this is what we need to tweak, this is what we need to improve to help us better be prepared for another natural disaster?
Well, you know, the Department of Defense, almost by definition, deals with disaster and crisis and contingencies on a daily basis. So we are a learning organization. We're always learning from every single engagement that we go into. We think we do a lot really, really well, but, you know, we're always going to be learning from something. And so, you know, right now our focus is on rushing the assistance that we've been asked to help support. And so that will continue to be our focus, but I have no doubt, you know, going ahead, we'll continue to learn things and always strive to be better and do better.
Strive better and do better. Now, this is an important